Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome to Homecoming, the podcast where we talk about all great things HBCU related. What's going on the yard? We like to call it yard news because y'all been to HBCU. Y'all know what it is. We talk about sports. We talk about everything under the sun with HBCUs. So, and also, you can definitely follow us on YouTube, and the podcast. I have all our links below. We're on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. So what's going on? Rose, what's
What's up?
up?
What's up? I see your hands need a little bit of lotion there. I am currently
Possibly.
in the mountains of New Mexico. So
Okay.
please give me grace with the lag right now. The reception here is kind of spotty. It's a little spotty right now.
Hmm.
But I'm enjoying the elevation of about 7,000 feet. So the air is thin and it's crisp and it's dry.
That's probably so
And I don't
awesome.
know. I don't know how I feel about that. I
For
really don't.
real?
Mm-mm.
Rose, hold on, hold on, hold on,
Get
hold on.
get me
First of
back
all,
down to sea
you're a
level.
straight. Hold on, I'm about to say you're
Get
a
me
straight
back
up
down to sea.
athlete. You're a straight up athlete.
They
Okay.
said it doesn't matter for whatever reason. I've been reading
For
articles.
real?
It really doesn't. Yeah, everybody's different. You can't just be like the healthier you are, you're automatically going to be, okay in higher
That's true,
altitude.
cause shout out to Ryan Clark, but they said he couldn't play in Denver. The football
You
player
see what I'm
say
saying?
said he had some stuff like I think he had sickle cell and some other things,
Yeah,
but
there's
he
something
was he was
certain
like I can't. He said he couldn't play in Denver.
conditions. Yep, certain
Hmm.
conditions. It's
I
not
was like,
good up here.
wow.
Conditions of the blood. I don't know, but yeah. So, but my body's adapting.
It's,
It's not terrible, but I am not going to work out for like a week. That's for
for
sure.
real? Oh man,
Because
that's
I
gonna be
tried working out
interesting.
the other day, and I just started getting dizzy. I'm like,
For
damn, am I getting enough
real?
oxygen? Yeah, but it's
Dang.
very
Yeah,
beautiful out here.
yeah.
It's
It
very
has to
beautiful
be
where I'm
beautiful.
at. Yeah, I'm in this small town called Riadoso. So I guess people come up here to ski. I've never skied in my life,
Yeah.
so I didn't know this place
For
existed.
real? You never
Yeah, all I know
skied?
is
Skiing is awesome.
Colorado. Yeah, I'm going. I'm going next February. But yeah,
It's bomb. Yeah. Skiing is nice.
very excited, very happy to be out here. More excited, of course,
Hmm.
to talk about HBC news sports right now and just news in general. There's so many topics, and it's crazy because school's
Hmm.
out, but the news keeps coming. The controversial topics keep oozing out.
Yes.
Every day JT's like sending me something, or I'm sending you something like, yo, did you see this? Did you see this?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I love my alma mater. You see what I got on, right?
Yes. Yes.
All day.
Yes. Howard. Actually, speaking of Howard, and I did want to kind of, you know, ask you this,
The
but
best HBCU? Yes, we are number one HBCU. We are the real HU,
uh,
if that's what you're asking. It's
I
automatic.
first, okay, shout out. I gotta say, shout out to Howard. A lot of my folks went there. My dad went there. My
Yeah.
good friend Rose
Yeah.
went there. Like my aunts went there. Like sorry, my grandmother went there.
It's the
It's a
best.
big thing. It's a big thing. It's a big thing.
It's
So
the best.
always shout out to Howard. But I'm saying that because I'm a big Lakers fan, and the
Shout out to
Lakers
LeBron
just
and Bronny.
yeah.
Woo!
Shout out to them, young. Please, yeah. With all this nepotism,
Yes.
stop it, guys.
I don't care. I
It's
don't
his
care.
child. Come on, they
Let
do it
it
all the
let it
time.
continue. Let
Come on, man.
nepotism
Like people,
continue
people
and let
continue
it
to
continue.
hire. Like, come on, y'all wouldn't hire y'all. Just relax. Just get out of
That's
here.
how I got my job with some nepotism.
Yeah,
Shit.
me too. Especially my first one. Come on, it's an easy given. Um, but JJ was recently announced. JJ Redick, a former basketball player who has a podcast with LeBron, Mind the Game. Also, before that, he has a podcast called Old Man to Three. I listen to it a lot.
I know you've referenced JJ
It's a
Redick. You
good.
love JJ Redick's podcast.
I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do. I do. It's a good podcast. But the crazy thing is that Halima Nash was a young black lady that went to Howard University. She graduated from Howard and she was
Mhm.
at Duke getting her doctorate around the same time that JJ Redick was there. And she said this. She tweeted this out. And this tweet, I'm going to read all her tweets because we like to look everything in full context on here, guys.
Correct.
Whole story. So this is the first tweet she said got this national attention. She said, "I've only been called the N-word to my face by a white man once in my life, and it was on the campus of Duke University while I was doing work with the basketball team. And today, he was named the new head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. What a world." Then that's what blew up. Everything. That's what blew up. That's what's in the news. Then she said in the next tweet, that's not getting a lot of news. You know, we know how this works, guys. Come on. Let's not play around. Then this was her second tweet was. For context, this was years ago. And I'm a believer that we all have space to grow, especially from our college level maturity. We live in a world where these exchanges happen and the intersection of race and privilege and lack of accountability all collided with that pressure. So let me ask you this. As a young black woman that went to Howard.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this? Like, how do you feel about it? Because you're a basketball fan as well.
I am.
You're definitely a LeBron fan. I mean, listen, like, you know, so I want to hear from your perspective, not only as a basketball fan, but, you know, Howard.
Yes. So when I say social media is like a double-edged sword, right? You have a platform to voice your opinions, but when you do, you open yourself up for attacks. So this was something that Halleemah Nash tweeted, and she instantly got ate up in the comment sections, right? She was, I want to use the word attacked. We can use the word attacked, and was automatically called a liar by people who don't know her, probably for sure don't know JJ Redick, right? Wasn't there at Duke when this transpired. So you don't know if she is lying or telling the truth. Do I know if she's lying or telling the truth? No. I'm inclined to believe her because it's rare that as Black people we make up stories of, oh, he called me the N-word. Why would you make that up? The question becomes the question that was proposed was, what did she have to gain saying this over 20 years later? Because she went to Duke for a postgraduate degree at the same time that JJ Redick went there as an undergrad. So this is between the years of 2002 and 2005 to put things into further context. So this was over 20 years ago. So she's being attacked saying, one, she's lying, or two, why would you wait until this moment to bring up something like that? And although I don't agree with like, hey, you're lying because you don't know. I think it is only fair that people ask, why did you wait this long to bring it up? I think it's fair. Certain people say, hey, you just need to believe her no matter what. And you're trying to pretty much negate or belittle her in her experience. No, we're not. But I believe and I feel that if you're going to bring up something, especially to this magnitude, to attack somebody's character, even though it's 20 years later, I think now we are owed context. I think now we are owed a further explanation of what went down, not to further corroborate your story, because I'm not saying you're lying or telling the truth. I'm saying I believe you. I'm saying what happened. What happened that caused him to call you the N-word? Like, don't you want to know? Like, for people to ask that, you can't now get upset or attack the people who are asking this in the comment section because you opened yourself up for this.
People want to know.
You said one small thing, and then you said another. The only thing that I didn't understand or really didn't like was she says this, oh, what a world where somebody can, use a racial slur even 20 years ago and now be the head coach of the Lakers, almost inferring that he is still the same JJ Redick. She goes on
Yeah,
to post
that's
something a little bit
why.
more
Got it.
contradictory saying, hey, this was years ago,
Got it.
over 20 years ago. I believe that people can grow. So if you believe that people can grow, you're still harboring on
The
that
initial
negative
tweet.
experience that you had and not
Yeah.
giving him the grace that you're saying that you're affording people in this tweet
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah.
Maybe he has grown and he's not
You
the
don't
same
know.
JJ
Yeah.
Redick. You were doing
Yeah.
postgraduate studies. He was
On
undergrad.
the basketball team at Duke University. Yeah.
And I'm not absolving it. He probably
Yeah.
had a small view of the world, but you just said people can change. So is he not given that
Yeah.
grace to change? So
Very
it's
interesting.
it's a tricky situation. It's hard for me to believe that JJ Redick is that same person that he was 20 years ago. I'm not even the same person that I was 20 years ago. I had ignorances from when I came out of high school because I didn't understand the world that I had to learn, mature, and adapt to as I matriculated through college, as I gained more real world experience, as I met people from different
Yeah.
backgrounds. My viewpoint had to change. I had very ignorant thoughts dealing with like mental health, anxiety, depression, thinking that it only affected white people because that was the viewpoints of my parents. Oh, you don't need therapy. That's for white people. That's ignorant.
That's ignorant.
But that's how I thought
That's
when
ignorant.
when I was younger because that's what I was taught.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
could it have been the same case with JJ? Possibly, but we don't know that. I think my question is it a thing of you just wanted
Mm.
to get it off your chest? Was
Mm.
it something that was festering in you and it triggered him getting another accomplishment that made you take
Mm.
to Twitter to say that? Was it a case because JT, I'm sure you've been called
Mm.
the N word. I've been called the N word. Middle school,
Yeah.
high school. I don't. Me personally, I don't let it affect me that much
Nah, I
because
moved on.
it's an ignorance. You're not in my
Yeah, I moved
stratosphere.
on.
You're not in my
Yeah.
world. You're clearly ignorant. And as long as you don't
Yeah.
cause me bodily harm, affect my well being, take away a job, or you're in a position where it affects my employment,
Yeah.
then we have issues. But for me, I think we get so hung up on this N word,
Mm.
right, and just get so offended by everything
Mm.
that I don't know. I think this was a case of I don't know if she wanted cancel culture. I really don't know her purpose
Mm.
for tweeting about this, several years later. I don't. But I don't think she's lying. I don't think she's lying.
Yeah. So there
I
we
don't
go.
think she's
That you know what? I'm
lying.
gonna be. It's so funny because right when I talked about this, I seen it and was like, let's talk about this because it's a very interesting thing. I was like, because first I thought about you, right? I was like, oh, let me ask Rose what she thinks. And as Halima said it, it blew up and was like, why? That is a very fair question. Why now? And then I looked at her Twitter account. And I was like, oh, she's a Lakers fan. That might make sense because maybe it's a possibility because Lakers fans, you know this about Lakers fans. I'm not saying anything. We're just very passionate about our team. That's it. So she might have been like, "Dang, he called me. Hey,
That's saying it nicely.
yes, called me. He called me. You know what I'm saying? So it might have brought some stuff up, right? Right. But I understand now.
Hmm.
People have questions. The second thing is, I definitely like JJ Redick was just on Shaq's podcast. He was like, yeah, I when I was at Duke, I wasn't paying attention to basketball. I was more into the social life, like the first 2 years, I think. And then he took basketball seriously and then got drafted.
Wow.
So
Nice.
he possibly could have said it. I can't put it past him because when you're in college, you are probably a different person. You're still young. Like, listen, I'm not vouching for JJ Redick. What he did was wrong. Shouldn't have did it. I do believe her because it's possible. You know what I'm saying? It's highly possible. I was listening to Joe Budden podcast and he just was like, so you don't think JJ Redick called her one at Duke? I mean, if you don't know about Duke, it's very small, but it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a lot of. I don't think the percentage of black people that how they go there. It's not an HBCU, so that's what it needs to be
Right.
said
Right.
about
What do you think, JT, though? What do you
it.
think what do you think she's seeking? Like, what type of accountability
I
do
don't
you think
that
would be
I don't
justified
know.
in this situation?
I don't know because
A
I
public apology, acknowledgement
don't
of it
know.
from something from 2
He
years ago?
said he denies it. So now it's just
Yeah,
like,
Representative denied it.
denied it. So I don't
Yes, flat
know.
out.
I to be honest, I don't know what she's seeking because I don't do that. I don't, man. I don't do that. I don't, man.
Oh man.
I be trying to let stuff go. Like that person did me wrong, I let it go. I don't bring it up. If I don't know what it is about me. It's just like whatever, man. I don't know what she has to gain because if it's represented denied it, she's not getting an apology, or she might have just maybe that was her getting it out. Maybe that was her gain. Like I'm just gonna tweet it out and leave it alone after that.
Well, she couldn't leave it
Maybe.
alone because she opened up a
Oh
Pandora's
yeah,
box.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if
It's
you've
a
been to
wrap.
her Twitter page, but she tried to talk about something else. They were like, hold
Yeah,
up. You're not about to
I
just,
did.
you
Yeah, I
know,
did. You
and,
I
and
can't brush that underneath the rug. You
yeah,
can't brush that
no, no,
underneath the
no.
rug.
Now you're open, and it's
You can't.
unfortunate that she has to kind of defend herself. But I think what would have helped her would have been more context, a clear purpose of what she was seeking. Hey, I just want to tell my truth,
That's it.
whatever the
Yeah,
case
that's
may
it.
be. But she kind of left it vague and up in the air.
And
So,
people gonna
and
keep
you opened
asking
yourself up,
questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
for assaults. I didn't appreciate the negativity and how she was being attacked in the comment section,
That joint
but
was crazy. The
this is
comment section
this
was
is the world we
wild.
live in. No, it's actually out of control. People were actually
And
out of
you
control
know what? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is an honest space, right? I'm gonna be honest.
for sure, 100%.
I have a toxic trait that sometimes I gotta stop.
What's the toxic trait?
I go straight to the comments. I go in there and I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
oh
not toxic.
my
That's necessary.
gosh, this
That's
joint.
necessary.
I be like, people, like for real, because it gets out of control. You know what I'm saying?
But let's
It
say
gets
this
out of
though.
control.
Every
It gets out of control.
comment
The comments
sections
are
are
getting out
good.
of control.
This one was out of control, but I will say this. I will go, especially if
It's,
it's a funny post, I'm going to the comment section because I need that
oh yeah,
second
yeah,
laugh.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You get
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
But it's a
So like
funny post.
the
But
comment
sometimes I'll
section
be in the
is
serious joints
good.
like, what is in there? I'll be like, what's in these comments? Boop. Ooh, 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 ooh. Mm.
Yeah. I
And
just
then
what yeah.
it's crazy. The comments are crazy. I was just talking to my wife about that. See, I grew up in a
Hmm.
time, you grew up in a time where, you know, you get punched in the face if you say the wrong thing to somebody and it's a fight. There was no leaving
Keyboard
comments.
warriors, yeah.
There's none of
Keyboard
that.
warriors.
I grew up in a time. Listen, I'm playing. Shout out to him. God rest his soul. Lucky. We were kids. We playing at the basketball court. I was like 12, 13.
Hmm.
And I talked about his mom. And he whooped me up. I had a small mouth growing up. But I understood. You have to understand. Listen. If you I listen, if you grew up in my area, you got into a physical altercation with something. That's just how it was because there was no there was space and opportunity. And if you said something and somebody didn't like that was wrong to them, they could punch you in the face. You have to
Yeah, I
know
mean it's
that
a
there's going to
different
be some time. It's a different
it's a
time.
different world right now. Let
You
me
can
ask
touch
you this.
somebody's stuff and you can't
Right.
get
But let
you
me
don't get
ask you
away
this
with
real
that.
quick.
Yeah.
If in your situation, if you were JJ Redick, or if you were
Yeah.
yourself and you
Yeah.
did something 20 years ago to offend somebody
Yes.
and they brought it up today,
Yeah.
something that you
Yeah.
did 20 years ago,
Possibly
how
could
would that
happen.
make you feel? How would that make you feel?
I would say I'm sorry that I did it. I'm just gonna I'm gonna fess up
What if
to
you
it
don't
if
even
I did it.
remember? What if you don't even
I'm gonna
remember
say I
doing
don't
it?
even remember it, and if I did, I'm sorry. Because
But
I
yeah,
like if somebody was like, because it sucks. Wrong is wrong, but sometimes people don't know that they're doing wrong because of their mindset is ignorant, and
correct.
that's not like I'm not trying to say it passing byly like, oh, blah blah blah, like, no, it's wrong. But if a person doesn't remember doing it, um if I don't remember doing it, and I was wrong, I'm just gonna be like, I'm sorry, I don't remember doing it, I was wrong, and just
And I
have
think
some
it should be
compassion.
left. And I think it should be
That's
left
just
at that,
me.
especially if you
Yeah.
have changed. I think we have to get out of
Yep.
this cancel culture mindset, where it's like you can't, cough or say the wrong word and you're instantly
Wow.
canceled. And I believe that may attribute or may have attributed to people coming to JJ Redick's defense. We've seen the toxicity of cancel culture, of you saying the wrong thing and you're 86, you're out of there.
It's wild.
Like you can't have errors as a human being. You can't mess up. And I
This is
think the
so
one
crazy.
person that I appreciated that went against the grain was Dave Chappelle. He's like, I'm going to say what I want, and you're not going to cancel me. So not saying that, oh, JJ can say whatever he wants, just say the N word, but we have to get out of
Mm-hmm.
this mindset of
The,
um, whenever somebody does something wrong, we
mm-hmm.
want to just demonize and cancel culture this person. Give them the space to
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to safely say, hey, this was 20 years ago. I was in the wrong. I do apologize. However that affected you, that is not who I am today. But sometimes with this atmosphere, you can't even admit to it because you're
Mm-mm.
gone, because you're out of there. The job you just had, that's over, because now you know how they like to do. They'll distance themselves. Any
Yeah.
company,
Yep.
organization, they'll
Oh,
start
it's a wrap.
distancing
It's
this
a wrap.
person.
Like,
You
you can't
lost
be
your
by
job.
you. Gotta go, man. Sorry.
So I think that our
Mm-hmm.
own cancel culture has attributed to the atmosphere that we're in today, for her to be attacked like this, for JJ probably not even feel safe if he did it, or if he remembers doing it or wants to admit to doing it. It's not space. There's not a safe space to do that anymore, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Which sucks, man, because that's like, not to have a safe space for honesty is crazy.
It is
That's wild.
insane. It
That's
is insane.
insane, yo.
Yep.
That is a different. We are in a
And
different
we
time,
created
yo.
this. We
We
created this
did.
when, and especially during like the pandemic, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember the black man that was in the park bird watching, and the white woman who I guess was with her dog and called
Oh,
911 on his
that
ass, and
joint
like
was
tried to
crazy.
win an Academy Award for the type of theatrics and acting that she did.
Was that the
And
first Karen?
I believe
Yeah.
that might have been the first Karen. That might have been
Yo.
Karen
Yo.
3.0, bro. Like that might have been
Yo.
the
I
first,
remember
the
that
beta
joint.
version of Karen.
Was it in New
And
York?
yeah, and she ended up losing her
Mm-hmm.
job. She ended up losing
Yep.
her job, and it was,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was the birth of cancel culture, but that was one of the moments that very
Mm-hmm.
distinctively stuck in my mind of, if you show your true colors and you're a racist or a bigot, you could
You're
lose your
out.
job.
You're
You're out
out
of
of
there.
there.
She literally lost a six-figure job and her
Yep.
dog because she was yanking the dog. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Mm-hmm.
even care about your dog's well-being, and you came out here to walk him. What's
That's
wrong with you?
crazy. That's
So
wild.
from there, it's, I think people know that if they can go to a social
Mm-hmm.
media platform,
Mm-hmm.
expose somebody for who they are or were,
Yeah.
then they can potentially get this person canceled.
Yeah, I think I saw around that time a guy, he blocked this family, this black lady and their kids, from going to the community pool, and they lived in
Mm,
that community. He was like, "You can't afford to live here." I think he was a lawyer, and he lost his
yeah,
high paying job.
yeah,
He
but
lost it. They
but
were like, "No." The firm was
see,
like, "Yo,
gotta
nah, I
go
can't have his name," because then you're messing with money. Like, yo, you're
for for sure. Because then people will
one of our
stop
biggest
going there.
clients are
Yeah,
black, so I'm worried about the money. I don't care about the
and
skin.
the optics of it all.
That's a different conversation.
But look at the examples we gave. People were getting canceled for
Yeah.
something that they were doing in present day, not
Yep.
something that's being dredged up from decades ago.
Yeah. That's
So I
true.
think that's the difference, And
Yeah.
somebody brought up that JJ had made a racial Chinese slur, and he had to go on and apologize and
Yeah,
explain
I
himself.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Right, and then another ex groupie girlfriend said that he
I
called
saw
her
that.
the N word, but can't trust these gold diggers. Who knows? You don't know the
I don't
stories that
know.
he
I
says.
don't. Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know this.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we just need to take a breath, really watch how we speak to each other on social media, like online, and act like you said, like from back in the day, like act like that person in front of you, like you can get punched in the mouth for the shit that you're saying online, but you can't. So people feel free to just talk all types of crazy. That's why honestly I don't engage on social media that much.
And I'm not condoning violence, guys. I'm just telling you that's how the time period that I grew up in, how it was.
Made you respect the words that came out your mouth. You had to think twice about it. That's
touching
for
people's
sure.
things and all that, and saying stuff crazy to people, they might put their hands on you. That's just what it is.
It's a real reality.
It's a reality, and I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just saying at that point in time, that was the level of communication.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But it wasn't Twitter fingers. It was real fingers, like pointing in each other's face. You know what I'm saying? Or
right.
It's a different thing. That's all.
Yeah, but much love to Halleemah Nash. I hope that
shout out to her, man.
She got some type of peace or whatever she was looking for from making this tweet. Like to cancel out all the negativity, because that just comes with life. Like you can't really control how people react or what they think. But I hope that it healed her in some way that she needed from that experience that she had back when she was at Duke.
Yeah, and we're gonna always let's end on this note. Shout out to Halleemah Nash. She was in the Forbes Ventures list. I believe the Culture 50 champions.
Okay.
She's
right.
Man. Shout out to her, man. She's a founder of Rosecrans Ventures. She's a unrepresented talent specialist who has consulted Nike, the Obama administration, Morgan Stanley, United Nations. Since the summer of 2020, Halleemah Nash's talent development firm, Rosecrans Ventures, has helped marginalized Black, AAPI, Latinx, LGBTQ+ youth, earning an additional $159,600 wages. She was born in Compton, first generation college graduate. Shout out to Howard.
I know that's right.
And she has coached and placed young professionals, colors, and internships in Chicago, LA, and Washington, D.C. So shout out to
that's
Halleemah,
what's up.
Man.
Very accomplished.
Okay. Doing the thing, man, I mean, listen, listen, guys, we have to be honest, man. Black women are vicious. They're beasts, okay? They accomplish everything. They're organized. They make the world go round.
Yes.
All right. So, hey, man, I'm telling you. All right. So, now. So, a great thing, and we cover everything sports. And this is a very interesting topic that's going around. And we cover everything here on Homecoming, right? So let's get into this band situation about this song called Neck. Now, Neck is like an HBCU staple. And I'm not going to lie, I was doing the research, and it's a staple in HBCU culture. But what's happening is
HBCU anthem. You can call it.
It's the anthem.
Marching band anthem, bro.
When that gets played, it's turning up.
I'm gonna stand on that. Oh, for sure.
It's turning up.
On that.
You know what I'm saying? It is HBCU anthem. We perfected it. It is. We're gonna coin it that. That's what we're gonna do. Neck is the HBCU anthem. I mean,
Oh man.
it's probably been coined 1,000 times, but LSU band, we're gonna call a spade, stole it, right? So, and it's gonna be featured. They stole it. It's okay. It's okay. It's the truth. Like it's okay, right? It's created by black people, used by black men HBCU, and they have no ties to it. That's neither here nor there. No ties at all. Um, so there now LSU band will play neck in this new featured EA College Football 2025 game, which is huge because NCAA. I grew up with it. It was phenomenal. I know you have brothers, so you probably either played it
Or watch
or
them play it.
seen it or watched it.
Can't get my hands on the stick, bro. I'm telling you, man, they were something else. Would not let me play.
I know. I understand.
Couldn't play. Couldn't get good because I couldn't play.
Nah, because we gotta play. I gotta get mine back. You just beat me. I got you, sis. You get some time on there. We just need to figure this out.
Insane. Yeah.
So, but the crazy thing with number one, the thing is, it just never. I don't understand why they have to take it. So I understand we're cool guys. Like black people, cool. We cool as a mud, right? Like this, it is what it is. It is like Isaac Hayes pointed this out. He said on every commercial, you're gonna hear a rap or R&B song.
I gotta hold him to that.
Doesn't matter where you at. Don't matter where you at. Just listen to a jingle. You in the hotel room, right? Well, listen to it. Listen to his commercial that come on. See the music that plays in the background.
Oh, I'm not gonna see any commercials because I have my Fire Stick.
My bad.
Bro, who's not streaming in 2024? Screw TV, bro. I don't care what they're talking about. I don't look at no TV guide channels. I'm not doing none of that.
I'm just saying. Oh man, I'm just saying that on a lot of commercials, like 80% of commercials, it's jingles. You know what I'm saying? Or
I believe
when
it.
you go into Target, it's a thing. You know what I'm saying? So like, and neck is it is HBCU. And then when I heard it, I was like, oh, this is it. I didn't know it was called neck. That's another great thing about Homecoming, guys. We're gonna tell you some stuff that I didn't know. I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? And this is just awesome that we found out the history of it. And there is a discrepancy of which HBCU it was, but the more research I do, it keeps going back to Norfolk State. And this original song was done by 1984's band named Cameo. And at first, I don't want to take any, don't want to take any recognition, but, in the article I read, it was founded by a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity who was in the band. Norfolk State, we call that PG, but it's also known as Pi Gamma chapter. And they found it actually playing the Battle of the Bands Hampton. They call it the Battle of the Bay. And that's when neck was first played because Tony, who was I believe he played the trumpet. Tony Anderson. He played the
trombone.
Yes, so he played the trombone. I think he was the band major the next year. But then he said once they played it, then it blew up. I think the first was in. Some people say Southern, I believe.
No, Texas Southern University.
Texas Southern University.
Yeah.
There's a big debate.
University Ocean of Soul was the first to play, or if it was Norfolk,
like in the early '90s, right?
Yeah, and whatever. So here's what I'll say, because you can't really pinpoint it. I am inclined to believe Anthony or Tony Anderson's story because it had so much detail.
It has a lot of detail.
But I will say this. certain ideas, you can be in two different places and y'all can have the same idea.
Yes,
that's the other
easily.
thing that I'm thinking as well, because it's that song, that cameo song, it was played on the radio. Like other people probably heard it. It was like, dang, this would be fire if we made it into a band version. So I think that's where the debate comes. Maybe they both had the same idea. Like it happens. All we know for sure is that it was founded at a HBCU. It started at HBCUs, guys.
Yes, it did.
So my take on this, JT, I did my research, right? So I'm like, okay, so what's going on here? So
my bad. This song was Talking Outside of Your Neck by Cameo.
Yeah, Talking Out the Side of Your Neck.
Yeah, I'll be saying crazy stuff on here, guys. I'll be listening to the recording. I'll be like, what? Anyway, go ahead.
So
I'll be like,
yes.
What?
Okay, so right. I'm just like, JT, come on, bro. But for people who don't know, it was first called NCAA, like college football. Really, Bill Walsh, because it was kind of Bill Walsh's college football, and it was the collegiate version of what Madden was at the time.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so that started off in 1993 when NCAA college football first came out. They only had FBS schools. And there was only the top 24 at the time. That first edition, top 24 FBS schools, and then top 24 like greatest schools of all our teams of all times.
Yes.
And that's all you had. As further versions were released, they started adding in more and more, Division 1A football teams, so FBS teams, until they had pretty much all of them. It wasn't until NCAA or college football 2000 where 24s, either 24 or 26 FCS schools, right? Which would encompass maybe HBCU schools, that was finally introduced into the game. Right? So for a while, you didn't even have HBCUs in this game. Right? So just follow me, guys. So from 2000 and 2014, from that time period, you know, you could either play with the HBCU school or FCS school or create a team using what they called dynasty mode, where you could create your players. So like the game started evolving. It gave you a little bit more options to create players maybe that wasn't on the actual game, right? Yeah. And then they took a hiatus after 2014 for legal issues. They were getting sued. Name, image, and likeness. There were big lawsuits with O'Ban, and that was like the big one that made headways, and they kind of had to back off because at this time, EA, or Electronic Arts, that's the company that was making this game, they were getting permission, you know, from the NCAA and also this company called CLC, or Collegiate Licensing Company, which would be representatives for the colleges that they wanted in their games, right? And they would just pretty much cut a percentage off and pay each college to like let them use their school or like name, image, and likeness. Because, you know, before those earlier versions, they didn't have the players' names. They just had the players' attributes and their number. Because, you know, there was like a lot of gray area.
That's why they got sued to this recently because of that same ridiculousness that you just said.
Yeah,
that's wild.
And they were using like the Heisman Trophy winners on the covers. So for a while, college students just wanted that honor because you're in the history right now. Like,
because Reggie Bush was on that joint,
bro. And that's like you can always go like I was on NCAA college football 13 or whatever year it came out. Like that is a huge honor and accomplishment.
And RG3 was on it too.
Exactly. So you get what I'm saying, right? So So, and I believe, I can't remember what year, but it was a later version where they actually started using the fighting songs or band songs for these colleges. So that came with the later release because before, kind of like with Madden, you're just licensing like popular songs of that time and, you know, using that. But this latest version, EA or College Football 25, because they kind of shied away from NCAA a little bit, which I don't blame them. They are just a lawsuit ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Jesus Christ, man. Like they can't get away from it.
Listen, I cannot.
Bro.
Y'all maybe lose money already one time.
You feel me? And so now what they've done is they reached out to about, was it either 1,200 or 15,000 players and agreed to pay them $600 to use their name, image, and likeness. It's that simple. And they
That's it.
said, I think they said around
Because it's a video
2,000
game. That's easy. Because
already opted in. Yeah.
that's what
Kids,
the real video games do it, right? That's what
bro.
Madden and all them do it,
Yeah.
right?
A lot of the college students said they would have did it for free. They're just happy that they're in the game. You know how cool
Yes.
that is
That's cool.
as an athlete. You can play with your player. Like
That's cool.
that
Cool.
would blow my mind.
That's live. That's
pretty
live.
fire, right? That's pretty fire.
That's live.
That is super live. So it got me thinking, like, man, they were making a lot of money. Like NCAA and these colleges were making a lot of money, and none of that trickled down to the athletes. Now athletes, even though you might look at $600 is not a lot, certain players, depending on how popular they are,
that's a good.
Yeah, but the more popular or well-known college players, they'll be able to make more if they market it and promote that game on their platform. So it's a great opportunity. I say all this to say this 2025 release will have no FCS schools. It's only going to be FBS schools. They haven't mentioned if and when they're going to release it with, Division I AA schools, which would encompass SWAC, in different, divisions. So my thing is, if they wanted to include that song, right, and people are saying, well, you need to attribute it to an HBCU. How can they attribute that song to an HBCU with no HBCU football teams in the game? That's the first thing. Second thing I need people to realize, and it sucks, is LSU, right, is on a bigger platform than HBCUs.
Way bigger. They're way bigger.
So when I'm doing my research, a lot of students, they don't even know that LSU got the idea for that song from Southern. Because it was right. It was told that Southern played it at one of the Capitol shows back in 2003 or whatever the case is. I'm sure but LSU heard it and then they, got inspired and made their version of Neck, which is nothing wrong with it. No. Nothing wrong with it because
it's banned too. It's banned too.
And they had their battles of the bands and their showcases and all that. I'll say this: I watched an LSU and Southern University battle of the band. Jesus, man, you feel Southern in your soul, bro.
Come on, man.
And not saying Southern LSU didn't do good, but that Southern, I got.
Come on, Southern. Come on, listen. You can't have Southern play the HBCU anthem against anybody. It's going to be a tough out. Now, listen, the only ones that could give them some go are other HBCUs.
But it's not going to be LSU.
It's not going to be LSU, guys.
With their students in the crowd offbeat. That's what I was saying. They playing that. Everybody's offbeat. I'm just laughing because nobody's in sync and in rhythm. I said, well, I'll be. But they're having a good time, and that's all that matters, I guess. So for me, it's a thing of, even though HBCUs were the ones who created it, and it's run rampant. And if you go to an HBCU, that's an HBCU anthem. But if you don't go to an HBCU, how do you know that? So on a national scale, we know that we are not represented as well as an LSU or any of those schools on that level. We don't make it to bowl games. We're not nationally televised. So of course you're gonna know, or you should know, that people are gonna attribute NEC, even though wrongfully, they're gonna attribute it to LSU because that's all they know. Especially if they've been playing it back since 2010, got banned from it in 2017, whatever the case is. So I don't fault people if they don't know, especially if you're not in HBCU circles. You've never been to an HBCU game. How do you know that it came from anywhere else but LSU? Because that's the only place you've heard it played.
Yeah.
So I don't take exception to it. It does suck. But what I would like, since they don't have HBCUs at this point, I feel a great makeup for that would be if and when they add HBCU schools, to maybe have each school's version of NEC as one of their fighting songs that you could play if you choose to play with that school. But it's just one of those things where
that's tough. I like that.
It's one of those things where it just sucks because we did create it. It was created.
We created it.
But we have to understand the landscape of college football. And we just started making ripples with Jackson State. and that was because of Deion Sanders. We just have to be honest
And
with ourselves. And FAMU, we just have to be honest with ourselves and understand that. Do I like it? No. I think LSU's version is not as good as Howard's versions. Like, I listen to Gramblings, I listen to Southerns, I listen to PVs. My favorite is Howard. I don't know. Y'all gotta go check out.
We could go. We gotta go. Yeah.
Because, listen, they had like just notes of like, man, that sounds like go-go. Like, their influence in go-go with their version of neck. It's my favorite version. And I'm not just because I went to Howard. Guys, I'm telling you, this time is not because I went to Howard. I'm saying
it's not your bias this time.
It's not. Don't look at this. It's because of how they incorporated go-go, bro. Okay. I went crazy when I heard Howard's version of neck. I went crazy. So I think that would be a dope addition. Because now I'm like, nice. how does EA Sports pay homage to an HBCU if they don't have any HBCU rated by HBCU bands in the I don't know how they would, like, so people are getting upset, but I'm like, how do what does it look like for EA Sports to give credit to HBCUs when we can't even decide on what school made it first?
Yeah, that's tough.
Do we give it to TSU? Do we give it to Norfolk?
The Norfolk?
I don't know. Still don't like it though. I don't like it. All that to say, I still don't like that. People are attributing it to LSU. I do not like that.
I don't like that.
Say that much. And then they made it so derogatory with that, like.
Yeah, you saw that? Yeah, I saw that. Like, I said, come on, man. What are y'all doing?
This is why it's banned. This is why it's banned. It's out of control.
When I heard that, I was like, what are we doing? Like, the song doesn't even call for none of that.
It's not. You're offbeat, right? You're offbeat, and then you want to add in explicit, like, chants and language.
And that's why I got banned. That's why I got banned, because like, you're offbeat. You're not making no sense. You're just screaming out stuff.
That's just saying shit.
You're offbeat. You're just screaming out. They're like, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this unrhythmic ridiculousness like this. Yeah. Y'all look crazy. Y'all are not making no sense. Y'all are offbeat and y'all are just screaming cuss words. This needs to get banned.
This is
because it's not meant for that.
It's not meant for that. Because think about it, bro. Especially HBCU games and things like that. You have people's families coming out there. Imagine somebody shouting.
It's not happening. No,
you got your child
it's not happening. It's not happening. Everybody's stopping. Everybody's stopping. You're not coming back. That's what everybody's doing, young.
Hey,
come on, young. There's kids out here, dog. Come on. What are you doing?
Literally women and children out here.
Come on, man. Just chill.
Relax. But what I would like, especially this upcoming, football season, would be for, as HBCU games are being more televised, really showcasing our band, really showcasing that halftime show and the band, because that is a part of sports for us. It's different.
It is
for FBS, where it's just all football. They have all the resources, so it's just all about talent, win a game. HBCU football experience is different. There's an added element. Of course, I want to win. I don't want to cheer for losers. That's not how I was made coming from Texas. I do not like that shit. But that added layer of just entertainment from the marching band, dance squad, like it's amazing. I love it. It's like you go to a concert every time, bro. Like, come on.
It's like, and then not only that, right? I think why the band matters with HBCU so much is because it's like when you go to HBCU as family, and when you have people that that's in the band and how passionate they are about it, you just appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You're like, okay, this is my, and then because they love it, we love it. Like, oh man, I'm on the yard and the band is practicing. That joint is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like it's just a cool thing, and you see them put in the work, and then it's all love. Just like the man. It's I love the band, man.
bro. Not to mention, bro, they really be eating out there. Like, let's not forget,
Yeah,
like they eat. Whereas, like, if
I've
you're
seen
sitting
some
down, you
battles.
gotta stand up, bro. You gotta
They
stand up. Like,
eat.
you literally, they make you
They
feel it
eat.
in your soul,
And I can't wait. And shout out, man,
bro.
Bowie State. I'm buying this football season. I'm getting season tickets,
Nice.
and I can't wait. Bowie State band, Howard band, all HBCU bands. Not Like Us is coming, and I can't wait. I can't wait. So I know y'all gonna kill it. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
wait.
Oh yeah. You already know they cooking up something nice.
I can't wait, man.
They
But
cooking
shout
up
out to
something
the
nice.
band, yo. Shout out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So our time is
So
coming, guys.
our time, it's coming. It's coming,
It's
young.
coming.
It's
It's
coming.
coming.
It's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. Now we're gonna get to something that is very interesting that I came across, right? And now I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was not very studious in the first couple of years of school.
Oh yeah,
I
we
know,
know. We know.
I know that's hard to believe, but listen. Um, there is a there's a professor, a public speaking professor, and there's a HBCU, and he's like, "Hey, listen, this list went viral that he won't allow the students to speak during their assignments. So as we all know, paint the picture. We all know when you go to school,
Mm-hmm.
you have if public speaking. He says, "Hey, I need you to write a paper or write a presentation to you to present." Just I don't know how public speaking is, but I'm pretty assuming that you're gonna have to speak in front of people and you're gonna have to do
Mm-hmm.
research on a topic. And this is very interesting as some of the topics that he didn't allow to be said. And this is probably an effect of social media because we hear these topics all the time, but it's a very the topics are so when I read them I was like, okay, I understand. But people were blowing up like, I can't believe what like I can't believe that he won't allow them to talk about this. Now these are the topics, guys. Black Lives Matter, Black Wall Street, African Town, Juneteenth, HBCUs, GMO foods, depression, diet and exercise, global warming, social media usage, COVID mask versus unmasked, mental health, racism, time management, grading systems, and the Me Too movement.
And that's just to name a few. That's not the
That's just a
entire
few.
list. You can go to
No,
HBCU
I looked
Pulse.
at the entire list. I was like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
I
So
I get it
so
though.
to
I
put into
understand it.
context, I will say it was actually a female professor, public speaking professor, and the
Mm-hmm.
young lady who posted it, quoting, "Hey, am I tripping?" She stated that she goes to the first HBCU founded by Black people. So I want to say, was it Cheney University, possibly that she's
Might be
at?
Cheney.
Um,
I believe so.
yeah, yeah. So I'm thinking that she didn't say her university, but I'm just going off of the context
I
clues. She
believe
did say that the
Cheney is
professor was a woman.
probably.
Right. So I'm in the comment section as we love to do. Gotta go to the comment. If you don't go to the comment section, you're selling yourself short. You are literally missing pure golden comedy.
You
But
want to
there were
get
mixed
things
views.
turn it up. Turn it
There were
up.
mixed views in the comment section, but there were some
Mm-hmm.
common themes of, hey, maybe the professor wanted you to think outside the box. Or this is an attack on freedom of speech. So you had polarizing opinions or ideas
That's what I saw.
in
That's what I
regards to
saw.
this assignment. So that was the
Mm-hmm.
main things that I saw. But how do you feel about it, JT? How do you personally feel?
Greater topic. All this we hear this all the time. It's kind of like, listen, I'm on the side of make a new topic. Okay, I don't
Bro,
want to
what?
listen, guys. I grew up with parents with no seatbelts
Oh my
and
god.
parents telling me to go outside. Figure it out. You figure
Yeah.
it out.
Really.
Figure it out. If they give me a list of these topics I'm gonna talk about in school, I'm figuring it out. Y'all, it's so easy. Y'all check GPT. We don't even have the internet. Figure it
Bro,
out.
what?
It's so many different
We had to go
topics.
on
You
encyclopedia.
can't be this
you had
lazy.
to find encyclopedia, bro. You had to
Come
remember
on,
that
man.
back in the day.
Yes,
If you had money, you could order the encyclopedia.
yes.
But if you get your ass down, you have to go to the library like everybody else.
Yes, I had to go to the library. I had to look things up.
And go from A to Z and figure out the topic, and you pray that they have something written in that encyclopedia and that edition on the topic that you want to talk about.
Yes,
Jeez,
yes.
Oh, man, these kids are...
and pray the library has the book. Just pray it does.
I mean, I'm telling you, I looked at
It might
this
not
and
have it.
I said, get out of here with this shit, man. Like,
come on, man.
And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean, because the young lady who wrote and posted this article, she was in the comment section defending herself. And what I got from it was she wanted to talk about Project 2025. She wanted to talk about Project 2025. Yes. And she was
everybody's talking about that. Yeah.
She said, this is the only thing I'm interested in. I should be able to talk about what I'm interested in anytime I want. You should always da-da-da-da-da. And always, I said, well, listen, in this class.
It's a class. Think outside the box is going to help you.
You won't. And in my mind, I'm just like, there has to be something else you're interested in. You're just stuck on not being able to do what you want to do.
Because you can talk about politics. You can talk about politics outside of Project 2025. You can talk about politics. It just can't be listed. You can think. You can think. Come on.
Let's think. You don't want to. And it sounded like, I want to talk about what I want to talk about, and I don't care, and I'm not interested in anything else.
Life doesn't work
That's the tone that came out, and I'm just like, bro, find something else. One, if I'm the teacher, I don't want to hear about this shit no more. Two, maybe the professor wanted y'all to think outside of the box and challenge yourselves to maybe learn something new. Because my thing is, you don't come out of your mother's womb with all the interest that you'll ever have in the world. You had to learn and be exposed to things to find them interesting, to gravitate towards things. So why not? Why can't you do it again? Are you 90, 100 years old? Are you done with life? You're in college. Relax. You know how much I learned in college, bro? You know how much I learned and got exposed to in college? Yes. It opens up your narrow-mindedness.
Yes.
And it's one class. She's acting like she can't never talk about Project 2025. No. You're on Twitter tweeting all day about it. You have an audience there. You can start an organization, a group on campus, talk about it there. You can start a movement on campus.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many ways to now think.
You can start a Facebook group.
Your public speech is getting attacked here, and we can't talk about anything. And this is what take a breath.
Right, because it's a public speech class. Think outside the box.
It's not a debate class. It's not a debate class. We're not debating this shit. We're at the end of the day, we're not talking about gay marriage. We're not talking about police brutality. We're not talking about euthanasia. We're not talking about capital punishment. We're not talking about grading systems, school uniforms. Everything's not about, racism or HBCUs. She just don't talk about school uniforms. Don't talk about this shit. There are certain things that for me, I'm just like,
very easy for me to talk about. I would have talked about how the NC. How about this? This is a topic I would have got in this class. Let's talk about how the NFL lost a lawsuit about Sunday Ticket, that they might now have to offer a package that other teams, individual teams, can pay. See, that's a topic not on the list, guys. Bro, but I'm a subject matter expert. But here's the thing: figure it out. You're in college. You have so much to figure it out. This is the great thing to do, or do what I did and not go.
Drop the class. My thing is this. This list is very short. In my opinion, of any topic that you want to talk about, this is a very short list. This is a very short list.
There's so many things you can talk about. You can talk about so many things political you could talk about, man. It's so many court cases that are going on within your niche.
That matter.
That matter that are not on this list that you could talk about. Especially in politics is the easiest. Politics is probably the topic that you can get the most, that you shouldn't even be threatened by this list. You shouldn't be. It's probably so much. You know what I'm saying?
She just wanted to talk about what she wanted to talk about.
It's going to be struggle for somebody who's not in politics, that is going to make them feel kind of like, should I even talk about, because I love sports, do I talk about JJ Redick's new hire and the racial, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're political, that like it's just that should be a second thing. That's what you want to do. That's what politicians do. Make it up. Jeez.
All I know is this: she took to social
Cheesy.
media under the pretense of, hey guys, am I tripping or not? So when you were met with people saying, hey, you actually are tripping and here's why, you had to defend your position. So it wasn't a thing of, hey, I want to actually hear somebody else's
You want to
opinion
be
to
open.
see
Yeah.
if I am tripping. You just you wanted self-validation. You wanted people to
Yeah.
agree, like, yeah, this professor was wrong and you're right and go for it. You weren't really
Yeah.
like seeking the other side or seeking any type
Seeking
of
validation.
validation. She didn't want to see the
Yeah.
other side, seek understanding for the other
Yeah.
side. So I'm sure
Yeah.
not every student had an issue with this list. They're like, okay, I'll just think of something else.
Yeah. Or if
Yeah,
they did, it was a student that actually talked about it like she did, but took it differently. Like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Okay, maybe it's getting challenging me. Maybe I'll take the challenge versus
right, right.
refuting it. Like, she's just tripping. It's like, well, you didn't ask that question for that. You have to, when you ask a
Mm.
question, be open to the answer.
The answers, period. Be open
That's
to
it.
all of
Be
the
open to
answers.
you ask the question.
You get what I'm saying? I mean, she was
What?
like, we should always be able to speak on what we want, especially with our culture. When I want to talk about what's important to me, our ancestors didn't work this hard for us to not, for us to not be talked about. She's like, she's making this into what I feel like a bigger issue, and she's kind of getting off topic here a little bit. So she ends up releasing a sample speech on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, pretty much
Ooh.
outlining the importance of continuing discussions on socially significant and controversial topics, even when they are prohibited in certain contexts. I said, see, you thought outside the box.
There
You
you
got a new
go.
topic.
You thought you
That one
there
right
you
there.
go. That's all she wanted. That's what the professor wanted. That's what the professor wanted. That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
That's it, bro. And you got a topic right there. And you got a topic right there. Jesus Christ, you act like she said you
That's
can't talk
so
about freedom of
crazy.
speech. No, you literally got a topic off of what she said not to talk about. I hope you get an A. I really do. I hope you get an A, bro. But
Yeah. I
we
hope
can't
you do.
cry
But
every
that's
time
what.
we don't get our way.
No. You gotta figure it out. Life is tough. Figure it out.
I mean, imagine going into this world thinking you can talk about whatever you want to talk about anytime you want to talk about it. That's not how it works.
That's not how it
There
works.
are
Not in any
rules and
capacity.
guidelines for a reason. A professor can make up whatever rules because another public speaking or
Yep.
public
Can
speaking teacher
say
came on and said, "Hey, I would never limit my students to what they can talk about. That's you and your class." This
that's you
professor
in your
saying
class.
otherwise, and I'm sure
This
they have a reason for the guidelines that they have made in place for their class. There has to be a reason for it.
and
And I
you
would just
know
ask
the
the professor,
professor before you take the class. Come on.
"Oh,
You
for
know who
sure,
you're
you know the
taking.
research,
You
but
know who you're taking,
exactly
unless you're a
of the
freshman. If you're
class,
a
bro."
freshman, get it. But come on now. Your second year, you know, you've heard. Let's come on. Especially in the HBCU. You know who to take. You know who to take. Hey, you took
Yeah.
such and such. Hey, listen.
Let's talk about this shit. So if that's gonna be an issue
Hey,
for you, don't
yeah, don't do
take
this.
him.
Don't
Don't take
take
her.
them, yo. Don't take her. You got this other public speech, you know, or in my instance, you're gonna have to take the class and deal with it. Pass it or
Which
not.
isn't the worst
It's,
thing.
it's just
Which
plain
isn't
and
going to
simple.
kill you. Oh my gosh, bro. I think
No, that's
it's getting
crazy.
worse with these generations. I really do feel like it. The sense of entitlement is starting to just get a little out of pocket for me.
That's so
I'm all
crazy.
for defending your rights. This is not a case for that.
Nah, it's and
Do the assignment,
it's
deliver the speech under the parameters that the teacher or professor said to do, and do it and move on. Get your credit
that's
so you can graduate.
get up out of
Jesus.
here, man.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Get out of here, girl.
Get out of
You know?
here.
Get out of here with that stuff.
Turn that
I'm trying to
paper
hear that
in
stuff.
and move on.
Turn
You won't be
it in
thinking
on
about that
time,
joint
bro.
in 2 years from now. You won't even be thinking about it 2 years from now.
You know?
You're not even gonna be thinking about it. You're gonna be like, man, that professor was tripping, but I got an A. That's what you're gonna be saying, or a B,
Period.
or I dropped it. It's gonna be you're not
You'll be
even gonna think
fine.
about
You'll be
it.
fine. But this is nothing to, you know, get your panties all in a bunch for, get all up in arms about, and try to probably cancel that teacher and like, oh, let's take the bro. I'm just getting sick of
trying to cancel the teacher by going to Twitter.
Bro, that's that seems to be the trend now. Like, I don't like what you did. I'm going to get you canceled. I'm going to get you in trouble with the university.
That's so crazy. That's crazy.
Do your assignment, attend your classes, get your degree, and go on and speak about whatever you want to speak about outside of that classroom and outside of those assignments.
That's it.
That's all I got, man. That's all I
got. So, all right, guys. Hey, once again, thank you. And we are always going to be on YouTube. Not always, but hey, one day we might move to Patreon. We never know. But we're always going to be on YouTube. Remember, follow us on iHeartRadio, Apple for all the podcasts. Anywhere you get your podcasts, follow us. YouTube. Also, we got some stuff in the pipeline right now. We're gonna introduce you guys, man. So thank y'all for rocking with us. Remember, always stay in tune. Follow the links below, man. Yes. We're here for all your HBCU news. We love you guys. We are out. Peace.
Bye.